So initially I was going to fly to Dallas,
Right.
do that, then go to a dance competition in Ohio, which I did, then spend the holidays with my family, and then do this show
They live
in Miami.
Ohio.
No, my family lives in Vero Beach.
So you said I was like, they live in Ohio. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
You can see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I came down here for that, and then I was supposed to stay for Basel to help them. But then I shortened my trip on both sides because they ran out of money.
But why are you leaving? So just stay just enjoy.
True. I should. I've been to a couple of Basels. I lived here 2 years ago, I think, through 2 Basels.
Okay.
And honestly, like even the days with my family, I felt like I didn't allow myself the time to like actually relax because we just rebranded and we're going through a bunch of shit. So work is the answer. Yeah. But I talked to, I know there's like probably 1,000 parties around Basel, but somebody at a party said something to me yesterday that we should do something. I mean, I suppose it was a show, which a show makes more sense for you than art dance. But anyway, we may be back in like some sort of capacity, like working capacity next year, maybe, because I'd like to sort of long term, now Ballroom Latin, then classics, heels, aerials, whatever, all the things, hip hop.
Yeah.
But then long term, like I think it'd be really cool for people that do like almost like Daybreaker, have sober parties. I don't want to have sober parties, but I want people to feel comfortable enough to dance always.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like end goal.
Yeah. Like how do we get them out of their shell without them relying on alcohol? And it's also not bad to also give them a little buzz too.
Right.
Yeah. I think there's always a good. So speaking of Daybreaker, there's actually a cool thing that. Have you heard? Sebastian, Florida, the city.
Yeah,
Sebastian,
yeah.
And they have a property there called Chosen.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is also it falls into that conscious wellness realm of events.
Yeah.
But recently they brought in my friend Jamie, because she does bar operations where they still have their wellness side of it, but they also kind of let them feel okay and like, hey, it's also okay if you just want to have one drink, if some of you guys do.
Right.
So it's teaching them like, hey, you don't have to rely on this, but because she makes everything so fresh and organic and by hand. So it's not like your overly sugar crafted, cheap type of libations. It still falls in the feel good type of libations. Like, here, it's okay to let yourself have one drink if you want.
Yeah. I lived in Tulum for a couple months during the pandemic, as a lot of people did.
Amazing.
And I remember I wasn't drinking at all. I don't drink much to begin with, but I wasn't drinking at all while I was there.
Yeah.
And I remember I talked to somebody that was of Mexican descent for like a long time, and they offered me Bosch. I don't know if you ever had it.
I've never heard of that.
I think it should be like the next. I mean, I guess maybe if it became cool, then it would like lose the whole thing. But it's a spirit.
Okay.
And it's made very intentionally in very small batch, and like, let's say that the successor of mezcal in a sense.
Right.
Like even more character, more whatever. And you do a specific breath before you take it, then you like take it with family, and it's very intentional. So I thought tobacco or spirit or whatever, if it's like done intentionally, and like if you're not just like slamming it to like black out and like be able to do something, then it's not good or bad. It's just
you're really just enjoying it for what it is and what you like, not using it as a vehicle.
And it, connecting with ancestors and all this stuff, it was what like that was about. So it was really cool. But I actually, so this is kind of an interesting story of how I met Dominica, who introduced me to you.
Yeah,
I met her at a New Year's party. I don't know, 2021 probably to 2022.
Okay.
It was somewhere south of Miami. There's like some sort of community where they like burn something.
South of Miami in a big house?
What's his name?
Shane?
Probably.
He's Asian.
No. I know Khalil was the one that was, I think, putting
Cahill. Oh, so you're talking even more south.
Yeah.
I know Cahill. Yes.
So
Fireflies.
He invited David Block, who was my random friend that I met at a silent retreat in Hawaii. So it was like one of those like trickle. But anyway,
very cool.
David then introduced me to Chosen and Tony. And I sent my parents over there, who are like let's say, out of that world, but
Yeah.
they enjoyed it and they were like, wow, I love this. Like, I want to be part of nature and part of community and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And when I went and visited my family, Tony's, I think, grandmother
Uh-huh.
started another place next door to Chosen. Chosen bought a piece of property from her,
Uh-huh.
but it's like a living community for like a lot of
Yeah.
people, and it's very like inclusive of all religion, all spirituality. So
Yeah.
we just walked around the neighborhood and like, enjoyed all of the, I guess, art slash altars around. So
That's amazing
nice.
how that kind of like tied in together.
Right.
Also great people to be around too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never met him in person. We've just talked before to introduce my family, but that's really cool.
You never met him in person?
No, I never have.
You've just talked about,
Yeah.
He's here this week because he has his event Regenerate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on Thursday.
Cool.
If you feel like changing
one
your
day,
flight.
one day too late, right? There was
If
a
you
point in
feel
my
like
life
changing
when
your flight.
when that was a thing. So obviously you're performing now and you're doing it full time, which I think is almost like, it's not unheard of, but it's like such a small segment of performers, dancers, artists that can like do that full time and actually enjoy the fruit of their labor in a sense that can sustain them.
Yes.
What's
There's phases to that.
right. And I want to get into all the phases. How did dancing start? How did you start dancing? What had to happen for you to start dancing?
Just in general in my life or professionally?
First time you stepped foot into what you considered dance?
It was in middle school for the dance team. I was in 8th grade, and it was cool to be on the dance team, and all my friends wanted to do it. So I thought this could be fun. Who doesn't want to be a part of the dance team and do a cute number for their basketball games in middle school? And that was the first time I ever even started dancing. I had no rhythm at all. It was like over 100 girls in the cafeteria rehearsing for this audition. It was very standard. Like, it's a week long. They teach you the choreo. You learn it. You practice it. And then at the last day, you have your audition. And I'll never forget, I was so bad. I was so bad that these group of girls behind me were talking shit about me so bad and so loud. Like, what is this girl doing? She doesn't even know the choreo. She doesn't even have rhythm. And it was so frustrating and stressful. But I made the dance team.
Did you make it?
Yeah, they did it. I made it.
That's amazing. They didn't.
No, because here's what the choreographer told me. She said, I can't teach people how to have energy, and you have energy. And she could tell right away what girls had a really mean attitude. And they were mean girls.
Yeah.
They were really mean girls. So that's what helped me make the cut. It was my attitude, it was the energy. She said, I can teach anyone how to do moves.
Right.
That's just comes with practice, but I can't teach people character.
Right. Or performance or any of the unteachables. That's actually like really deep for someone at that age and like that was teaching a school-based dance team. I feel like I've heard choreographers that like that's their craft. Mm-hmm. Being full time into that. I don't know if whoever the choreographer was
she was
like
also a teacher. Yeah. So she was also a teacher too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So her after school curricular for the school.
And at that point, did you decide to start any other type of dance to train for it, or was that like I enjoy this, I'm going to do this? Period.
I enjoyed it. I'm going to do this. And then I moved on to high school, and high school offered an elective that was also dance. I said,
interesting.
Great, I liked it in middle school. Let me keep trying it in high school. And I didn't like it at first.
Okay.
I didn't. That was where I learned ballet, jazz, and modern.
Cool. I didn't realize that they had a dance elective.
They do. It was 4 days a week. And on Fridays was textbook day, where we learned the vocabulary.
Wow.
Like our ballet terms, and we learned history of dance. And so yeah, 1 day would be for ballet, 1 day was for modern, 3rd day was for jazz, and the 4th day we just rotated every week which of those 3 we would repeat again.
Okay.
So jazz was my favorite.
Okay.
And yeah, I did that for my freshman year. And I actually thought, I don't know if I like this. So I didn't do it my sophomore year. But I ended up working the shows anyway as someone who checked people in because I missed it. It's like,
Right.
I'm not in this dance class. How do I still be a part of this production without dancing? So I still volunteered to be a part of it. Then junior and senior year, I went back. It's like, I don't want to miss this anymore.
Right. And were you on the dance team still throughout high school or no?
Yeah, we had a
Okay.
dance company. It was the North Gwinnett Dance Company.
Oh, cool.
So we always had 2 shows. One for the winter, which was the Nutcracker, all jazzed up.
Right.
Every winter, never fails. And then in the spring, it was always a different quirky concept in the spring. So you would audition. I mean, if you took the class, you were already in the production, but you
Nice.
also could join the company, which meant you were in more numbers and you then had rehearsals
After school. Nice.
Yeah, so it was always part of your elective to be in the production, but you can also join the company and audition for that.
Okay. So then after high school, what happened dance-wise? What was the next step? Where'd you
Still
go?
school. I went
Okay.
to college. I went to FIU in Miami,
Okay.
and I heard they had a dance crew. It was a hip hop dance crew. Oh, this
Ooh.
crew was so fun. It was called Tokyo Love Bots.
Love it.
Yeah, it was called Tokyo Love Bots. A lot of people in the Asian Student Union community were in it. And that was where I met one of my closest best friends, that I call her my sister.
Oh, I love it.
And it was so cool because we would practice anywhere we could around the school and we would get kicked out. She actually had to, she'd have so many emails with the president, just let him know, we're going to rehearse at the rooftop of this parking garage that we have on campus. Because we always had a competition we were training for in Gainesville at UF.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that UF has like a really good, actually a lot of really good dance
Yes.
affiliate programs, I guess.
They do. And every fall they had a competition called DTF, I think it was. They had a dance competition where it pulled different dance crews from different colleges.
Oh, cool.
And we would all go. It was like, think a dance crew from a TV show, except college. So it was fun. And oh man, I remember we would stay up till 1 a.m. practicing. And we would, since we didn't have mirrors, because
Right.
even though we,
Because you're on the rooftop.
yeah, it was a dance crew.
Right.
It was very street-like.
Right.
So maybe we would just go in front of a building that had glass doors so we could see our reflections until we got kicked out of it. And then we would move it to the garage, just wherever we could rehearse.
Okay.
Inside a building, outside a building, the garage if we needed to. And they would train us for that. She would make us run up and down all the floors of the garage so we had
Oh,
the
wow.
stamina for competition.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an extracurricular of school. It was just
Like a club.
it was a
right?
club. That's exactly what it was. It was a club.
That's amazing.
So that's where I continued in college.
Was that your first interaction with like hip hop and street style?
That was my first. I was so bad once again. I was so bad.
It makes sense. I feel like everybody that's like sort of starts with anything, whether it's classical or anything else, you get into hip hop and you're like, I don't understand how to like not be perfect.
No, and also the freestyling part of it. It's like, what's
what
a
is this?
freestyle?
Right.
I don't know how
Tell
to
me the
do.
choreo.
Yeah, give me the choreo. So we had that, and college also, they did also have a dance program as an elective that you can take as an actual course. So I think I took that the last 2 years of it.
What was your major? What did you want to study?
Sociology.
Okay.
Yeah, I studied sociology.
Something that for sure I think comes back up into what you do today, right?
When it comes to working with people, yeah, it does. And it's funny because my last 2 years of college, I just knew that I was not going to do anything with that degree. And I knew, I was like, I want to be in the professional entertainment industry here.
Oh, wow.
I was so ready to be done with college, and I knew I wanted to go full force. I went to my first music festival called EDC in Orlando, and that's when I saw the performers, and I knew, I want to be them. I'm going to come back to EDC next year, and I'm going to be them. I want to give people this experience, this immersive, I'm in another world experience, you know?
And then you went back and started Aerial, or what was the catalyst for that? What happened post dance crew?
Okay, so post dance crew, I started taking heels dance classes in studios, like Showstoppers and Hialeah, which was super well known. And that's where I would just start learning how to be comfortable freestyling dancing, because I knew nightclubs here needed you to dance in heels.
Got it.
And that's where, so I always call myself, I'm the non-dancer dancer. I have no training when I was growing up at all. I just kept doing it for fun and then tried
Yeah.
to look for classes. The aerial came because my sister was working at an aerial and pole studio. They had silk, lyra, and pole. And because she was working at it, she had the key. So we would go to happy hour at night and then we would go to the studio and we would have fun spinning and learning things. And after I learned I liked it, then I actually wanted to take classes. So in college, I was a server at Olive Garden. And I told the studio, I really want to take classes, but I don't have money to take classes. Can I be an intern? They told me no.
Okay.
I said, okay, well, here's my number anyway. If you change your mind, thank you so much.
You will need an intern one day.
2 days later, they texted me.
Oh, wow.
2 days later, they said, okay, so you want to be my intern? I said, yeah. I said, okay, great. Can you come in tomorrow? And I passed out flyers at Publix for the aerial studio.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I got to train.
What studio is this?
It was called Angels Fitness. And it was super far south
Okay.
super far south, like Pinecrest area. And I remember at that time I was going to college, working as a server, trying to pay for rent, but also having these dreams of being a performer on stage. But it was always the goal of dancing for music festivals.
Okay.
I love the electronic dance music industry. I
Right.
love raving, and I wanted to dance for the rave. And I knew in Miami with art clubs, this is like when Mansion was open on South Beach back in the day. And I knew, okay, first I need to go dance at these clubs.
Okay. That was the intro.
Oh, yeah, I knew exactly. I was like, I need to go dance at these clubs for all these DJs that I love. Then I can put on my resume for the music festivals. I've danced at this venue with this production, and I know how to dance in this environment. I know how to dance in this tall heels, and so I quit.
So was it after college or during college that you went and started doing go-go dancing?
It was, I want to say, those last 2 years of college.
Oh, wow.
That's when I knew I was going to do nothing with my degree at all.
Love it.
Like this degree is great, but I want to go full force in. And the first year, I want to say maybe after about 6 months was when I really started booking a lot. Like I knew I could work 7 days a week if I wanted to because Miami
Wow.
breeds that environment.
Right.
Our parties don't stop. You could literally work every single day. You could work 3 gigs on a Saturday, on a Friday. And after the first year of dancing in Miami, that's when I started working with festivals. Like EDC was the first.
That was the first.
After 1 year.
Wow.
EDC was
So
my
basically goal achieved after 1 year.
I
Then
said,
what?
I'm going to be there next year. I want to be a pretty daisy. So then I started traveling with Insomniac events.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I knew I was done with college.
Right.
It was so hard to be in school and have finals, but also get emails about EDC Mexico or
You're like, I
EDC.
want that too.
Yes, I want to do all of it. Or, just all the Insomniac events. I wanted to do it. And then from there, I started working with Ultra Music Festival.
And whenever you first decided your path, how did your family feel?
How did my family feel when I first started my path? Whoa, they were very, very caring. They were worried, also in a caring way because
Okay.
it's not a normal profession or career
Right.
that you would see. Like it starts off very fun and games, and when you hear it from the outside too, it's like, oh yeah, she's dancing on a nightclub. Woo, it's fun. I still pay my taxes, and it's actually a very professional setting still.
Okay.
Yeah, like it sounds fun and all from the outside, but it's still also structured
Okay.
on the inside, and it's a lot of responsibility as well too. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure.
They were very worried, especially when they knew I was doing aerial with nothing strapped onto me.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like no safety or anything like
yeah.
that.
They're
Yeah.
like, something strapped on your waist? No, it's my arms.
I'm strong.
Arms.
That's amazing. And do you still go dance now?
Do I go up?
Do you still go dance now?
I will dance I don't dance for nightclubs every single weekend anymore. I stopped about 2 years ago to really go full in on specialty acts more,
Okay.
such as fire performing
Okay.
and stilt walking and the aerials. But I do dance for private events. I love dancing for private events. And of course, I dance for ultra. I love that so much. But when it comes to nightclubs, like after about 7 years of dancing till 10 a.m. at Club Space, I hit my Saturn return on this. We're okay.
You're like
I'm tired. I feel like the cool aunt now. I'm the
right.
cool auntie go-go dancer when I walk in there.
I love that. So were you traveling with EDC and Ultra to all their festivals, or how does booking for a production that level work?
It wasn't like every single production they had, but it was for some of them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for some of them. So for EDC, they would send me an email and let me know that they were casting for Mexico or maybe for the Vegas one. And from there, I would let them know. So it's like once you are in with a festival, after that first process, then they will decide if they want to have you for other cities or other countries. And then for Ultra, I would say it's a nice handful. So it depends. It depends on many things, like the demographic, So it depends on the country.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work with the demographic and
Fair.
who I am? And it can also depend on the budget as well too.
Right.
Like to fly me out from Miami to this country or that.
Yeah. Was it what was your most memorable set or performance in that period of time, the EDC Ultra period of time?
Ultra's still going on now.
Okay.
And I would say one of my most memorable, Peru was very special.
Okay.
Yeah. If there were three for the travels, I would say Ultra Peru was an insane energy like no other. Very special that environment. And we just did our first ever Ultra Ecuador.
Oh wow.
And that was very memorable because they had never had a production like that in the city of Quito. So it was really cool to be the first to bring it on and to work with the city and the people there, like to work with the locals there. It was that one I hold in my heart.
I love that.
Very close.
Was there a specific set to any of those, or just the whole event itself was so cool that?
I wouldn't call it a specific set of dancing, but it was just the whole day in itself.
Okay.
Yes, it just felt very family oriented.
Oh wow.
I love it so much.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then how did you find fire dance, I guess, because that was the next progression, right?
Okay, so fire dancing started in Costa Rica.
Oh, cool.
I went to Costa Rica for an aerial retreat.
Amazing.
I went to Costa Rica for an aerial retreat in the jungles of Montezuma. There's no direct flight in there. It's a trek. So you really want to be a part of this aerial retreat. It was like 2 flights and then a taxi ride in there. It was called Cirque Traincation. But it pretty much combined the feeling of a vacation with hardcore aerial training.
Okay.
It was crazy, like waking up at sunrise at 6 a.m. and training all the way till 7 p.m. And we were on a beautiful resort in the mountains with a beautiful view of the ocean. And we had all the equipment set up in shalas. So it was all outdoor. You could see monkeys while you're climbing. It's like you're climbing with the monkeys.
You're climbing, they're
I'm
climbing.
climbing this silk, they're climbing the tree. It was very beautiful and very special too. But in that, they also had a lot of flow artists. Okay. So at night, if you wanted to and if you had the energy to after training, you could also learn fire because that's where the flow artists, they would bring out their props and you could do a Skillshare exchange. So that's for me, I was like, I'm interested in fire. I've never done this in my life.
That's amazing. And what was the first thing that you tried with fire toys?
The sticks. I first tried the fire sticks.
Those are the fire sticks.
The ones that you eat.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones where you can, it's called flushing, where you can touch your body with it and you can also eat it. So my first one was the sticks. And then after that was the fire fans.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then now you were telling me earlier that you have an array of toys.
So many toys.
Do you have a favorite now?
Fire wings.
Fire wings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fire wings. They're massive.
Wow. They
Big
sound
fire.
massive.
Yeah.
Do you light them up yourself?
Yes, with a fire stick.
Ah.
Yeah, so they're very heavy. They're made of steel.
Wow.
And you wear them on your back. They're made with leather straps, but the whole thing is just metal steel. You wear it on your back, and I use the fire stick, one of my eating sticks, to light up all the wings top to bottom. And then I eat the stick. And with the wings, I can either dance with palm torches or fans.
Oh, wow. So it's like a stacked skill.
Oh, yeah. I feel like a fiery goddess when I'm in it.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Now that you're sort of, I guess, in the next phase of your life, right? What does your daily routine look like? Like, what is a normal day in your life, if there is such a thing as a normal day in your life?
There's no normal day. My weeks vary. It's funny when you ask that because I have some friends who are like, what's your schedule like? When can we do lunch? You have to ask me the day before, because even if I tell you my schedule, all of it changes.
Right.
Because you create your own schedule. I mean, there is some consistency. For example, maybe every Tuesday I know I have a performance at a hotel, or every Saturday I know I have an aerial performance at a club. So there is some consistency to it, but also for half of it, if not some seasons, for the most part, it can be very spontaneous. Some things will come up the day before or 2 days before, which completely changes your trajectory of the week. But typically, on a normal day, on a rest day, I like to start the day with my cup of matcha, do a fitness class, whether it's hot yoga. That's my flexibility hack, I call it. My fast track to flexibility hack, hot yoga.
Wow.
Once a week. Because your body's warm.
Yeah.
So after you finish class, stretch your straddle, stretch your back bends. Break it in right away.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I like to do a high yoga class, or I do a Pilates for improvement mobility, or I lift weights. I always like to start with a fitness class.
Okay.
And then I will do what I call my adulting for the early afternoon.
What's adulting? What is adulting?
Adulting is calling my dentist to tell him I need a root canal.
Got it.
And now trying to find insurance because I didn't have dental insurance.
Got it. Okay.
Things like that.
Admin, like life admin.
Yes, it's life admin. I call it adulting.
I love it.
Yeah.
And is part of adulting also the business side of you being a full-time performer?
It is, because there will be a day where I will choose to train. So I usually like to make that early, before 3 p.m. Most of my energy is right when I wake up. I hate training in the evenings. I do if I have to, but I really prefer not to.
But I suspect most of your performances are in the evening / night / early morning, right?
They are.
Is performing different than training for like the level of?
Yeah, because of the adrenaline. I have people watching me. And it's when you put on the makeup and the costume, then it's a character, and then it's fun.
Then it's somebody else.
Yeah. You got the lights, you got the sound, you got people watching. It's like, oh, it's an adrenaline kick. And sometimes I can still feel tired. Some days, if I have a really crazy week of stuff going on between passion projects, my training, my work, and adulting, I could go into work feeling super tired. But once I'm on stage, it's like I forgot how to be tired.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now I'm wired.
Now I'm wired. I went from tired to wired.
Yep.
Whenever you obviously have a full schedule of performing, does it ever impact your sleep? And does, in a sense, that your sleep impacts your health, or do you balance it somehow?
It totally impacts my sleep. And it was a lot of years of not having that balance and not knowing how to create. It's like learning how to create structure in your normal life in a world where your schedule can be not structured, where you have so much variety, especially when you have a few skills. Like, because when you can dance and you can still walk and you can do fire and you can do aerial, but you can also model and you create content, when you do a lot of things, it opens up the world to even more variety in your schedule, because you can have an opportunity come in at any time.
Right.
And you want to take it, So when it comes to the sleep, I remember after working at Space for 7 years, there were weeks where I'd work 3 nights a week on a normal week and dancing
Wow.
till 10 a.m.
Wow. Can you even sleep during the day, or do you just take naps? Like, how do you navigate Basel, which is about to obviously come?
Yeah, so like those days you could be dancing at that club till 3 p.m. or 7 p.m. when they
Wow.
have their crazy marathons. But it's not the only club you're dancing at. You're also still working the corporate parties or for a hotel party. I call them disco naps.
Disco naps.
Yeah. You're a warrior. I'm just like a lioness warrior, I call it, where any amount that you get, you're really just trying to go from point A to point B back home. Take a 3 hour, sometimes it could be 2 hours, 4 if it works out good for me. And it's taking the nap and then waking up and doing it again.
Is it something that you think is sustainable long term, or do you have like an exit strategy, let's say?
Long-term sustainability, absolutely not. Having a lot of fun with it and you love your life, for sure you are happy.
Love it.
That's where I would say like it's worth it as long as you really love it. I loved it so much, it was worth it. So once it hit the 7 years, I was like, I would like to, I would say this, when we're talking about the fruits of your labor, the fruits of my labor while I was working was the community in the dance world. It was growing and evolving as a performer and creating that community for yourself and also your reputation in that as well too. And to have that consistent income as a performer, which is really challenging, it provided that safety. It's like, I'm really tired, but there's nothing else that I would do with my eyes closed but dance. I can be so batshit tired, but I will wake up after a 2-hour nap and I will do this. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really did full-heartedly, and I still do. I don't do it at nightclubs, but I will do it when I tour for music festivals.
Right.
Because sometimes it still happens. My schedule can still be like that, like when Miami Music Week comes around. So longevity-wise, it was really heart-fulfilling, and that was the fruits of my labor in that. The fruits of the labor after dancing for nightclubs was now getting to enjoy the party because I made all these connections. Oh my gosh. When I made the decision to stop go-go dancing, it was so awkward body-wise because you're just so used to it.
Right.
And all your friends are dancing. So I would still go to the club, but by myself to see my friends dance. But now it allowed me to actually get to know the staff more because now I had more time to connect with them. It's like we were family, but now I feel even more like family. And being able to bring my friend and bring them to an event like this that maybe they've never experienced.
Right.
So the network is very powerful.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's probably not a day or a night that you can't just be like, I can go to X number of parties, events, whatever, because of like the network you've built.
Yes, and that comes with creating a beautiful relationship.
Right.
Which comes with character.
What are the things that you do today, and maybe you were doing in the past couple of years for your health, like to keep your body, your mind, your soul intact or taken care of?
Definitely started with therapy. Because after working so many years in nightlife, when you're working till you're so tired, that I learned it also created an anxiety in me that I wasn't aware of when I was in it. I felt it when I left it.
Okay.
Yeah. I only noticed when I left it. Like being in places with loud music on my day off, I couldn't enjoy it. If you wanted to have a dinner and the music was loud, it's like, I just spent half my week in a club. Why do I want to have dinner here? And it's one of those things where if your friend has a birthday and that's the place they want to do it, it's so hard to enjoy that. I didn't feel social. So I definitely went to therapy for that. And so through therapy was where I also learned how to meditate as well too. And there's a lot of things that go into it too, not just with the anxiety of the environment, but also when you're really trying to make it out there as a dancer and be at that point where the jobs are coming to you. You're attracting the jobs. You're not seeking the jobs. It's still competitive.
Right.
So like in a way, I started to associate my success and my worth with how much I worked, which made me really work into the grind. And because we have slow seasons, it's like there are moments where I got scared. Like, I got to take every booking I can for this busy season because it's going to get slow and I still have bills to pay, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's a cyclicality to it, and it's hard to like just lean into it and be like, oh, now it's slow.
Well, that's why yoga is so important, and learning to meditate and really setting the boundary with yourself is, I would say.
Right.
When you have a boundary with yourself on how to create that structured schedule. Something like when I was dancing, if I had a day off, I purposely slept with my phone outside of my bedroom.
And I think we covered obviously physical exercise. You do all the things plus everything, all the trainings, super, super intense. Do you have any guidelines that you follow food-wise or supplements-wise?
Food-wise, for sure, organic groceries.
Okay.
All day, every day. When it comes to groceries, I try to eat very light at home. I like to eat light, healthy, because my food affects my mood and also it makes me feel heavy. And I love to eat when I go out. I love to eat all the cheese and all the meats and all the sauciness and all the desserts, you know? So
love sugar.
Sugar. Always saving for dessert.
Yeah.
Always.
For sure.
So to balance it out, I keep it very vegetarian at home. Very clean, vegetarian, meat, not meats, clean vegetables. And supplements, daily vitamins. I actually take a lot of doTERRA essential oils.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so what I do is I make
What's
my
your
own
stack?
vitamins. My stack, it's always the On Guard.
Love On Guard.
Right.
I live by that. I don't get sick as a On Guard.
You need it, especially when you're around masses of people.
Right.
Being around masses of people, it definitely affects you, hygienically and also energetically too.
Smart stick when you get home.
Absolutely. So many eyes are looking at you, especially when I get home. And then when I wake up, On Guard, lemon for detoxification, because also a lot of stage makeup. It's a lot in my body too.
Yeah.
And sometimes good makeup means lots of stuff are in it. So a lot of detoxification in that. Oregano oil always.
What does your life look like 5 years from now?
What does my life look like 5 years from now? It looks like I'm so happy. I'm happy, Dandy. I'm so happy and so confident and so secure and so safe with all the decisions that I've made is what it looks like.
That's the North Star is just happiness. Everything else, the how and the what doesn't really matter as long as...
No, I just know it's going to be great. Because here's the thing. If I can try to think of, what is my life going to look like? What am I doing 5 years from now? Well, here's the thing. As I keep growing, my wants and desires keep changing.
Right.
Like, I could still achieve what I want, and then maybe 3-6 months later, it just alters a little bit because I'm always growing. But I will definitely be happy.
Right.
Like, now I feel so happy now.
That's amazing.
The most safest and secure and most confident, because I learned how to set the boundaries with myself.
I feel like a skill that just nobody growing up teaches you the importance of boundaries with yourself, with others, with anybody. It's just like, this is your goal, like, work yourself into the ground. They're like, say yes to everyone and everything, and like, just let it in until it just destroys you. Yeah. And then figure it out later.
So grinded in there.
Yeah.
So grinded in there. That's why when you have the boundary of yourself, that's where you learn to set it with other people. And it's very important to have boundaries in this industry. Because I say that because I had zero boundaries for at least 5 years in the industry.
You're like, sure, yes, everything.
Yeah, I didn't even know what that word meant.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Fair. What do you think if dance would have never entered your life?
Sad.
I had a feeling you're going to say sad based on like happy was the other side.
I mean, I would have still found creativity and artsy stuff in some way. I will always be a creative.
Okay.
It might have manifested in a different form. Maybe videography or photography, or maybe writing, It will always be in the realm of the arts.
Okay. What's one thing about you that people would be surprised to know?
Oh, I love this question so much because this is an answer I think of when I'm not put on the spot. And I'm like, wait, let me dig into this archive right now. What's something that people would be surprised to know that they can't tell through my social media? I think what people don't know is that I really love in all its forms to the deepest of the depths of it. Because you don't really see that serious side of me on social media.
Right.
I'm very fun and out there and bubbly and eclectic and just do all the things. But under that fun is I am a really deep lover at its core. And I love to feel that and bring it with people.
Okay, last 3 rapid fire questions. First thing that comes to your mind. First one, whenever you travel, what are 3 things you can't leave the house without?
Whenever I travel, 3 things I can't leave the house without. My travel tripod, always content,
Always.
always. My vitamins,
Nice.
because I don't know what they're going to be like in another country.
True.
I'm going to bring my own vitamins. I'm going to keep taking care of my own body. It's the most important thing to me. My camera.
To put on the tripod.
Well, I'm also testing with it. I've always had an interest in photography.
Okay.
So I will always bring that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Second question, if you could give a piece of advice to anyone sort of entering the dance world, whether as a child, adult, whatever, for the first time, what would that be?
Be consistent. Don't take things personally. And find a good community to grow with.
Okay.
Like, it's intimidating. It's super intimidating when you first walk in. But that's why I say don't take things personally, because everyone started from zero. And that's why it's also important to find a good community that's going to support you, wherever that is, whether it's an online community or whether you find it in person. You need to have that.
Right.
Because you're going to be super hard on yourself. And consistency is always key. Hold yourself a value and just be a good person. Because you can have all the skill in the world. You can have the perfect split and put your toe to your head. But if you have a crappy attitude and you don't work well as a team either, I don't want to hire you.
Right.
A lot of people wouldn't want to hire you. And I say this from experience because I was not the most rhythmic or skilled dancer. I know. I call it's like I was a personality hire. I mean, you listen. I train really hard to do what I do to make it look good, but I definitely am also a personality hire. It's the way that you work with people, the way you make them feel when you enter the room. You know?
Yeah.
It's not just for the audience.
It helps to have that person that's like makes the whole room better.
Yeah, it's not just the audience you're thinking of. It's also thinking about the people you work with.
Last question. Whenever you decide that it's time to relax, what's like your go-to place to relax?
The beach, the ocean.
Cleanse everything.
I love the ocean so much. So much. It's just the vast waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I have tension. I walk into the water, it strips everything, and I'm a new person coming out.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're blessed to have the ocean always at your beck and call.
I do. She feels so good. I have the best ocean ever here in Miami.
Agreed.
I'm very grateful to have it year-round around me.
Sweet. Well, we're grateful to have you. Thank you so much.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is great. I had one more question.
Yeah.
Do you have like a dream collaboration? Like a dream partnership or?
I don't have one off my head right now. I think
Nice.
I you know what? I think my dream is, I think the dream is so beyond what I would think it is that it would just come to me. Because here's the thing, I feel like I really feel like I've done all that I really wanted to. Like I feel like I'm living my dream right now.
Yeah.
I really feel like I'm living my dream right now.
That's epic.
What more can I ask
Literally.
for? Yeah, so when people ask me, what more do you want after this? Like,
Nothing.
I just want to enjoy my dream that I'm living in right now.
Yeah.
I just want to enjoy this. This is it.
Yeah.
And anything else after this is so well beyond my dreams that it is that dream. Like, it just comes. It comes and it's presented and it's like, hey, what do you think of this idea? Do you like this? And it'll either light me up or not.
Yeah.
And if it lights me up, it's like, oh, it's a dream I didn't even know I had.
I love that.
Take me by surprise.
Right.
You know?
Episode in one sentence. This is it.
This is it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex.